Okay, welcome to Division of Decimals by Whole Numbers by myself, Mr. Imran Iqbal from one-to-one-tutor.co.uk. Thank you for joining me today, and I hope you learned something from this lesson. Okay, now this exercise has been taken from our trusted book, Mathematics: The Basic Skills. It is taken from page 61. Exercise 12, and the title again is we're going to be today dividing decimal numbers by whole numbers. So let's have a look at the first example, which is on the board already here. 72 point. Now how do you read that last part? We've been doing decimals now. If you've gone through the previous modules with me or the previous lessons, you remember 72.12? No, it's 72.12. You've got to make sure you read each digit individually. Divided by 6, the whole number. Now, let's get the basics right now. When we have a division question, we always read from the left to the right. This is how we read the question. But when we write it down as a division question, in the way that we normally used to seeing them, like this, we write it the other way around. Why is that? The way to remember that is by thinking about an X. The second digit always goes first and the first digit always goes second. Now, it's not a matter of that's the smallest number and that's the largest number. It's not to do with smallest or largest. It's not to do with the size of the number. It's to do with the position of the number. Because this number is positioned last, it will always go to the front of the question. Because this is positioned first, it will always go last. So if you think about cross, so the front goes that way and the back goes front, you'll always get them in the right place. So when you read this question here, it still says the same thing, but it's written in a different format. So we read this question this way. It still says 72.12 divided by 6. Still says the same thing. So now, without further ado, any delay, let's get cracking with this question. Okay. Now, the rule for addition, subtraction, and division of decimals is the same rule. That one of the rules that we use is line up the decimal points, and that's what we're going to do. Here's the decimal point in the question. We have to line it up with the decimal point in the answer, and apart from that, the division is like the way you do any other division, any other short division. That's the only extra step. When you're dividing a decimal number by a whole number, in this like this for example, the decimal point gets copied up. Put a little green arrow to show that it's being copied up. After you copy it up, the question becomes like a standard division question. So the question is, how many 6's go into 7? Well, 6 will go into 7 once, leaving a remainder of 1. Because 6 times by 1 is 6, and we've got 7, so we've got a difference of 1. Now the next question is, how many 6's will go into 12? Well, 6 times by 2 is 12, so 6 will go into 12 2 times, so I'll put 2 on the top with no remainder because it goes exactly. Now the next one is, how many 6's will go into 1? Well, 6 won't go into 1, you can't divide, so 6 can't fit into 1, so it's 0, and that whole number 1 becomes a remainder. So now say how many 6's go into 12, we've done that earlier. 6 will go into 12 2 times. And that's the end of our question. That's example number 1. Okay, right. Let's rule that off. Okay. Now we're going to do example number 2. Okay, example number 2 I'm going to take from question number 4 from the exercise. And that's 0.552 divided by 3. I hope you can see this nice and clearly. Okay, again, when you're writing out the question, what do? The second number always goes first, and the first number always goes second. Okay, nice big fat juicy decimal point over there. Remember, it's the X arrangement. Second one always goes first, and the first one always goes second. Right, so let's have a look at this question. How many 3's can I fit into 0? None. There's nothing left over. Okay. Nearly forgot to do the most important thing. Here's a decimal point in the question, and we've got to copy that to the answer. Nice big juicy decimal point there. Okay, so the rule here is, let's write down the rule. Okay. Copy the decimal point from the question up into the answer. From the question up to the answer. So what we're doing here, we're lining the decimal point up like addition and subtraction. So line up the decimal point. Line up the decimal point as we've done it in a line. Okay, so let's continue on with the question. 3 goes into 5. How many 3's going to fit into 5? So we've got 3 times by 1 is 3. 3 times by 2 is 6. Well, I haven't got enough to fit in here. Well, 2 is too much. So 3 will fit into 5 only once. Because if you try 2 times, you get 6, which is more than that. So it has to be 1. So 3 will fit into 5 once, and that will give us 3. But we've got 5. So we've got to work out the difference between 5 and 3. 5 taken by 3 is 2. So I'll put a 2 over there next to my next number. That becomes the remainder. How many 3's go into 25? Well, 3 will go into 25. You've got to think about your 3 times table. Okay, 3 times by 8 is 24. 3 times by 9 is 27. Well, I don't have enough for 9. Because 9 plus 3 is 27. I only have 25. So I can fit 8 in then. Well, 3 times by 8 is 24, and I've got 25, so the remainder is 1. The next question is, how many 3's will go into 12? Which is 4 exactly. And that gives us the answer to the second one. So really, apart from copying the decimal point up, the rest of the question is the same as doing a standard division question. Okay, let's do one more, if we can squeeze it in here at the bottom, before we run out of screen space, and then I'll set you some questions to do from the exercise book. Should we say textbook? Okie dokie. Right, let's have a look. Which of the questions should we try now? Let's have a look at one more question. Okay, nice and straightforward one. 2.2 divided by 11. We use our x. When you write in the question, that one goes first and that one goes second. I'm going to do this question to the side over here so we don't run out of board space. Okay, maybe not, because it will confuse this situation here. Let's go back to here. So the 11 goes here, the 2.2 goes here. How many 11s can you, groups of 11 can you make from 2 is nothing. So the remainder is 2. And we've got to do our famous copying up the decimal point. Straight up here, big nice juicy decimal point. So how many 11s go into 22? And the answer is 2. And we finish up with the answer of 0.2. Okay, now that we've had a look at these questions, what I would like you to do is, before you start doing the questions, is to copy up this page. So you get a chance to pause it, copy up the page, title, exercise, page number, the date, well actually not the date actually, because you'll be doing all different dates. So copy up the rule, example 1, example 2, example 3, copy all that up nicely, and then try to attempt the questions, because then you'll have a set of notes in front of you. Otherwise, once you start looking at the questions around the board, that page, this part of the video will be, you won't be able to have it in front of you. So you need to copy this up first. That will take you about 10 minutes at the most, and then you start attempting the questions, and the questions I'll write them up in a few seconds. Okay, so I'll give you a few seconds now. Okay, you got a nice clean shot of the screen, of the. Okay, if you hear any little noises in the background, ignore them. That's my little classroom assistant, barely 3 months old. Okie dokie, right? So you can pause this at any time. And once you stop, once you've copied it, you can press play, then you'll see the questions written up on the board. Okay, so press pause now. Okay, now these are the questions I want you to do from exercise 12. Question number. Okay, hang on one second. Okay, and the rest of this video we're gonna have to do with my young classroom assistant Salia. She's 3 months old, but she's raring to go. She really wants to get into this, get involved in this lesson, so I had to bring it in. Okay, so let's continue with the lesson. Right, which question do I want you to try? Let's try question number 2. Question number 2, this is what I'd like you to do now. So you got 48.5, and I want you to divide that by 5. The next question I want you to try is question number 5. Question number 5 is 2.55, and we divide that by 5. Okay, the next question we're going to get is question number 6. Question number 6 is 45.32, and we have to divide that by 4. And the next question we have is question number 7. We have 16.32, divide that by 2. Okay, and the next question we're going to try is question number 9, which is 2.16, and that's going to be divided by 6. And the next question we're going to try is question number 14. Question number 14 is 3.824. 3.824 divided by 8. And last but not least, the next question is going to be 9.333, which is question 19. 9.333, and we're going to divide that by 9. Okay, now, so you've got a selection of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 questions, and that should hopefully give you something to start with. Now that you've copied up your notes from the previous part of the lesson, and you can see these questions, you need to, this is where the second pause comes in. So you need to, in a few moments, press pause and take time to copy these questions out from the board or from your book. Okay, and after you press pause, that must be the time that you've actually finished doing the questions and you're ready for the answers, because I will go through them with you on the board. Okay? Right. Okay, so if you want to press pause now, and that will give you the opportunity then to copy the questions, and that'll give me opportunity to carry on writing down the answers. Okay, because I don't have the opportunity to pause the video. Okay, so press pause now and copy them out and start doing them. When you've done them, then you can press play and look at the answers. Okay, right, press pause now. Okay. Okay, hopefully now you're playing it again, you have finished copying out the questions and you've done the questions and you're looking for the answers. This is the answer part now. So I'm going to go through this with you now. So 48.5 divided by 5, we put them, the first one second, I'll have to do the answers on the side. The 5 goes first because it's second, and the 48.5 goes here. Okay, so how many 5s go into 4? Is nothing. Remainder 4, because 5 You can't make a group of 5 out of 4. The whole number becomes a remainder. How many 5 is going to 48? Well, that's going to be 9. Because 5 times by 9 is 45. 45 and 48 gives you a remainder of 3. How many 5 is going to 35? And the answer is 7. And we've got to obviously copy up the decimal point into the same position. That gives us 9.7. Here comes the next question. 2.55 divided by 5. The second number goes first. The first number goes second. We're going to copy the decimal point up. And the question is, how many 5 is going to 2? There's nothing, remainder 2. How many 5 is going to 25? Is 5. How many 5 is going to 5? Is 1. Next question. Second number goes first at the beginning. First number goes second. Okay. So how many 4s can I fit into 4 is 1. How many 4s can I fit into 5 is 1, remainder 1. Copy up the decimal point. How many 4s can I fit into 13 is 3, because 4 times by 3 is 12, giving you a remainder of 1. 4s in 12 is again 3. So 16.32 is first, that goes second. In here, 16.32. The divide by 2 is second, that always goes first. Okay, so how many 2s in 1 is nothing, remainder 1. Okay, this little classroom assistant is getting agitated. Hope she's absorbing all this mathematics. Okay, so how many 2 is going to 16? That'll be 8. Okay, and we've got to copy the decimal point up. How many 2 is going to 3? It's going to be 1, remainder 1. How many 2 is going to 12? Will be 6. Okay, and this last 3 questions, let's quickly copy them out. Okay, so we have the second number goes first, second number goes first, second number goes first. First number goes next. We have 3.824 over here. And we have 9.33 here. I hope we don't fall off the bottom of the board for what you can see. Right, how many 6 is going to 2 is nothing. Copy of the decimal point. Remainder 2. How many 6 is going to 21? Well, in our 6 times table, 6 times by 3 is 18. That gives us a remainder of 3. How many 6 is now going to 36? Which is 6. 8 into 3 is nothing. This can't fit a group of 8 out of 3. How many 8 is going to 38? Well, 8 times by 4 is 32, remainder 6. How many 8s in 62? Well, 8 times by 8 is 64. We haven't got enough for that. So that'll be 7. 8 times by 7 is 56. And that will give you a remainder of 6. 8 and 64 is 8, and we finished that question. How many 9s in 9 is 1? Copy the decimal point. How many 9s in 3 is nothing? Remainder 3. Okay, I think I might need to just rub this one off because it's getting a bit cramped, and do it up at the top. 9.333 divided by 9. That's better. At least we've got some more space. 9 goes into 9 once. Copy of the decimal point. 9 goes into nothing. Remainder 3. How many 9s go into 33? Well, 9 times by 3 is 27. 27 to 33 will give you a remainder of 6. 963 is 7. And that's the end of the lesson. So we've had examples in the beginning with the notes, with the actual rule, which you've copied up. Then you've copied out the questions, done the questions, and then you paused it, and then you've played again, and now I've given you the solutions. So in this lesson, you've got a complete system of learning. First of all, the introduction to the lesson, or going through the question, giving you the class notes, and then telling you to pause, copy up all the notes. When you press play again, you will then see a list of questions, which you press pause, copy them up, do the questions, press play again, and then you'll have the solutions given to you. So this lesson is very interactive. You need to stop, you need to make notes, you need to be active in this lesson. And them are the 3 phases. First of all is the lesson, stop, copy up your class notes, play, copy up the questions, pause, and then do the questions, and when you finish and ready to go through the solutions, check whether you've done it right, press play again, and then you got me going through all the questions with you. So that's our 3-phase lesson, which I've tried to explain to you at least 2 times. Now, what I'd like you to do is to hopefully you've benefited from this lesson, and you will come back again once more to one-to-one-tutor.co.uk for all your other mathematics needs. It's the home of mathematics. I hope you've learnt and understood this lesson, and it's been made clear to you something which students find very difficult. Any comments you have, you can always post them to me using email, mail at one-to-one-tutor.co.uk, and I will try my best to respond to those. And I would like any type of feedback, please. Thank you very much, and please come back and learn again. Bye.